Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning that applies to property, permission to extend or alter lawful nonconforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer, tablet, or phone. All virtual participants will automatically be muted on entry. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. Those participating by video appearance will be temporarily upgraded to panelist when your item is being held. During this time, your camera will be enabled. You will only be visible during your 5-minute allotted speaking time. At all other times, your video will be disabled and you will be reinstated as an attendee. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. Those participating through WebEx are not allowed to use share screen or any other panelist controls during a video appearance. The host will remove you from the panelist role if you fail to receive or respect this instruction. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address because the Committee of Adjustment and the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. With respect to hearing procedure, I will call each item on the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are advised to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant agent, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you're reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they've finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into the committee for a decision. Excuse me. Mr. Secretary Treasurer, do we have any deferrals for this afternoon?
Madam Chair, we have one deferral request. It's item number 16,
All
570 Eglinton Avenue West.
Okay, could we have the applicant for item 16? Who seems to be on. Oh, these people are? Oh, okay. So the people in the audience, there are people here on this item? Okay. Let's have the applicant first. Mr. Dales.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Andrew Dales, 147 Liberty Street, Toronto.
Hi. And the reason for the deferral?
We became aware of a report from Transportation Services staff, relatively easy to address. And that's number one. Number two, there is a letter from a tenant in the building, the retail tenant. We'd like to have an opportunity to have conversations with the tenant. And finally, a report from community planning staff. And we need some time to address their concern. I'm pretty sure that's going to be possible.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions, the applicant? No? All right. Let's hear from the residents. Now, just the applicant has applied for or requested a deferral of the application. So that would mean we're not hearing any evidence to support the application at this point. It's just to defer it to a later time so they can work on what he just mentioned, meeting with city staff, I guess the tenant of the commercial unit. And so all we want to know is if you have any concerns with the deferral request. So if you'd like to come forward, whoever wants to, do you have a representative or are you each speaking? And there's a microphone with a button on the bottom.
There we are.
Yep.
Would this just be to defer it? It wouldn't be, this is just a conversation about deferral. It's not
Yes,
about,
it is.
we still want it dismissed. We don't.
Exactly. You would have an opportunity if and when it comes back to do that.
Okay.
So, but could we have your name and address first?
Sure. Thomas Putman. I live at 570 Eglinton Avenue West.
Okay, great. And do you have any concerns with the application being deferred?
I guess not being deferred. I have issues with the application.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Or we're just all observing? Yes, I understand. You didn't know about the deferral, neither did we. Could you make sure the microphone's on the bottom? There's a switch. Still not really hearing you.
Sorry. Now, my name is Guillermo, and I'm just, I have a little bit of problem with them right now because we didn't get any notice about this meeting. And also, I am there for 33 years working in that location. And I always pay my rent, and I always been a good tenant. I never bothered nobody. And so for that long, I'm being with my clientele, and I'm be very happy. My clients are happy, but now they're gonna push me away from that, and my clientele, it's a little bit disappointed also because they concern where am I going. Now I am not young anymore, and then get it
Okay.
out.
This is a request to defer the application to a later date. Are you the commercial tenant in the building?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
So first, could we have your whole name and your address?
Yes, my name is Guillermo, Guillermo. My last name is Palomares, Palomares.
Okay, and your address?
The address is 570 Eglinton Avenue West, Toronto, Ontario, M1E4B7.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we don't need the postal code, that's okay. All right, so the applicant has requested to defer the application, and one of the reasons he stated was, I understand, to speak to you, the commercial tenant. So that was one of the reasons. So do you have any concerns with them deferring the application?
Yeah, we never be contact. They never
Okay.
send me any letter or anything. I just find it from somebody else,
Right,
and we never get any. Well,
I don't think
just
there's a
talking about
requirement.
myself.
to notify tenants.
Yeah, no, they didn't send
letting
it
up. I
anything.
You should try, yeah, absolutely. The applicant should try, but it's kind of odd that they wouldn't consult you, but anyway, so you're okay with it being deferred at this point? We're not making a decision on the application
Why?
today? Sorry?
Why?
Why? He said because first of all, he received a report from community planning, a negative staff report. And so he wants time to discuss it with the community planning group. And he also mentioned that he wanted to speak to the commercial tenant, which I assume is you. Do you have another reason? Did I miss one? I think those were the main reasons. So that's why he wants to defer it.
Can she talk for a minute?
Sure.
Sorry, I know Guillermo for many years. My name is Elaine Weinberg, and I just wanted to speak a little bit on his behalf. We're not understanding the deferral because he's tried to contact the owners of the building, but nobody responds back to him. And he's trying to understand why is there a deferral?
So the applicant has requested a deferral for the reasons I just explained.
Meaning that he has to speak to somebody where?
He wants to, deferral means we wouldn't make a decision today. It'll be done at a later time. The reason for it is they received a staff report from community planning that was negative, not in support of the application. And they want to talk to community planning about that. And he did indicate that he wanted to speak to the commercial tenant because of the negative comment. So
I understand now.
As we said, we don't know why he wouldn't speak to a tenant that was being affected, but that's not, our decision to make. So it would be deferred, and you will have the opportunity to, hopefully he will contact Mr. Guillermo, and then it will come back at a later date.
So can we object to that deferral and
but
move forward today, or is that not possible?
You can state your objection to it, but we would need a reason for that. We would need a reason to say that we were going to support, to move forward with it and not accept the deferral. Generally, we will agree to a request, particularly when they want to meet with staff.
Okay, so we don't know time frame how long
At
that
this point,
could
no,
be.
we don't.
Okay,
I
so
guess
it's
it'll be as long as it takes them to resolve their issue.
But just one other question. When the notice was presented, it was put on and nobody was aware of it, even in the building, because it was removed so quickly, and only through another one of Guillermo's clients was he informed. So he didn't even get a formal notice with regards to it.
And I don't believe there is a requirement for a formal notice for committee of adjustment decision or hearing. There may be some requirements as a tenant and landlord, but I don't know what those are. So hopefully, as the applicant has indicated that he intends to meet with the commercial tenants, so I'm hopeful that will happen.
Okay.
All right.
So I just wanted to make sure where's Guillermo?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Are you in agreement with that?
Okay.
That he wants to defer it because he wants to talk to you? I don't know what they're not prepared to go forward with it today is what you're saying, even if we are prepared.
Well, we still have to make a decision on that deferral.
Okay.
But, it will depend on what the
She
committee
wants
decides.
to know if you're will speak to the landlord and defer it because they didn't get some kind of approval, or do you want to go forward with it today? He had to, to address the committee, but he had to cancel all his clients today, and that is also a problem for him financially.
Right, I
So
understand.
at a later date, that's going to also come into play.
All right, well, we will take that into consideration when we make a decision.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Is it on behalf of someone?
Sorry, I guess I sort of misunderstood the question before. If possible, I would like to object to the pushing back or the deferral, if only because the landlord and Spice Cart management seem to have a track record of kicking the can down the road, so to speak, and we have examples of that with building fixes, with requests, ticket requests, electrical issues, plumbing issues. Quite often, they will push it down the road. Part of what we were coming to talk about is I myself reached out about electrical issues more than a year ago, and there was nothing done about it. So I think we are concerned that if this gets deferred, that there will be, it's just to try to skirt the people who are here to address it and try to get the motion dismissed.
Okay, but you understand that they've made an application for a variance, and if they
Yes.
don't get the variance, they can't make the changes. So it's kind of in their best interest to deal with it. Unfortunately, we don't deal with those other issues. We're only dealing with what's been applied for. So we hear your comments, and we'll take that into consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's have the applicant back. On.
Hi there.
Hey.
I'm back.
All right, I think one of the panel members has a question for you.
Yes.
Ms. Martin, did you want to ask? Yeah.
Can you just state again why you want the deferral?
3 reasons. And I was made aware by my client that they hadn't, I was unaware there was any concern from the commercial tenant. And so we are definitely very interested and willing to meet with the commercial tenant, talk about their concerns, and hopefully work something out. My understanding is that it's a month-to-month lease. But that's besides the point. Certainly, there should be communication there, and I will reach out myself and book an appointment with the tenant to talk about their concerns. That's number 1. Number 2 is a report from transportation services staff. They set out 3 conditions. They were okay with the application being approved. The 3 conditions, 2 of the conditions are relatively easy to address. Item C is a bit confusing, and we want to have the opportunity to meet with transportation services staff and talk about their condition about some additional landscaping. And number 3 is the report from community planning staff recommending refusal. I've reviewed their report, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to work it out in the context of the Young Eglinton Secondary Plan. So we, for those 3 reasons, the commercial tenant, transportation services staff, and community planning staff, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get to the finish line.
All right, thank you. Mr. Swartz, you have a question?
I've got some problems with some of the things that you said. Like, you have a tenant here. He's got a business there. He had to take off time and lose money to be here at a hearing. You didn't have any discussion with him. You're here in bad faith to ask for a deferral. You should have talked to him first. He's lost money. It's not fair.
I don't think I would categorize it as bad faith. I was just made aware of his concern. I didn't hear anything from the owner about this issue. When I went on the application information center, I found his letter, and I immediately decided that we shouldn't move forward today because we want to have time to sit down with the tenant and find out what his issues are and hopefully address them.
Did you call the tenant?
No, I was unaware of any issue with the tenancy whatsoever.
Did your client call
It's a
it?
commercial tenant. It's not, it's
I don't know,
it's-
you're closing
it's
down
not-
his business, and how could you think that he wouldn't be concerned about it?
I wasn't even aware that that business was still operating there.
I don't know. and when I said in bad faith, I don't know when you got on this file, but like, you've got somebody here, he's losing money by being here to oppose this. And then you're just saying, well, we didn't know, like, it just doesn't seem right. You've got somebody here who's lost money to be here on this hearing, whether you're gonna win the hearing or not. It just doesn't seem right to have
What we
a
did,
small businessman come here and lose money like this.
and I understand, sir. What I'm trying to explain is that we went through the process as required. We didn't do anything untoward. There was nothing that I was supposed to do that I didn't do. We went by the book. There's no smoke and mirrors here.
Well, look,
This is I'm being genuine when I tell you that I did not know anything about this tenant's concerns. I wasn't made aware of it by my client. And we are now in a position of reaching out to him and sitting down with him and talking about his concerns.
after he's lost money by being here.
Oh, right.
I have no way of knowing what his situation is.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sankar, I think you wanted to make a comment?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do see where my colleague is coming from, but I do want to express that I think a good step was actually being here and hearing what some of the concerns were. So I guess the only thing that I wanted to ask is, should I approve this deferral now that you know the situation with not just the tenants who took the time to show up, but all the others, to give them the notice and to set up a forum to be able to hear all their concerns? Will you commit today to doing that should we move forward, is what I'm saying. And this is YouTubeable, so.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I do what I say I'll do. I've been doing this for a long time and I have a good,
All right.
very good track record.
All right, thank you. That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Well, what I will endeavor to do is reach out to whoever submitted a letter that was posted on the AIC. The gentleman, I believe his name was Thomas, who is up in front of you today. I don't remember seeing a letter from him on the AIC, so I was kind of blindsided by that today. I didn't realize there was any other concerns other than there was 2 letters of objection on the AIC, and my understanding is that it was the commercial tenant and one of the tenant's customers. I didn't realize there was anybody here as a residential tenant in the building. So if I am provided with contact information, I'm certainly willing to call this gentleman and have a chat with him about his concerns, although it sounds like his concerns are more tenancy property management related and not specifically regarding the variances.
All right. Staff, do applicants have access to people who have registered here today?
Do staff? We do, but that information is private.
Yeah, okay. So it's not accessible to the gentleman, to the
Generally not. So
Okay.
what might happen is it might be best to go into AIC, establish one contact, and have that contact authorize further contact to the other interested parties by maybe perhaps providing a separate list to the applicant.
All right.
Or what I might be able to do is just provide staff at the committee with my contact information, and anybody who would like to contact me, I'm very happy to have a chat with them.
I suppose that could be put on the AIC as well, right?
My number's already on the AIC.
Yeah,
It's
if
on the
he-
covering letters.
If he's the authorized agent, then it's publicly available.
Okay.
I just have a quick question. One of the residents said that he saw the notice and then it was quickly taken down. I'm just wondering why you took the notice down. Why wouldn't you leave it up until at least the end of the hearing? So that surprises me a little bit that the notice was taken down.
I don't think it was taken down. I think it's still there today.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah,
someone in the building took it down.
we had the sign posted one of my employees did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had photos taken and we submitted the signed declaration and the photos to the application technician. And those are posted on the AIC as well.
Okay, so you're saying it was not taken down then?
And not as far as I'm aware, no.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I think we have discussed long enough. Now let's take this into committee. Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I am, and hearing all sides, and I really appreciate all of the tenants and, the stakeholders who have come in and expressed their concerns, and we hear you loud and clear and want to make this better for you. But perhaps, it would probably be in your best interest to actually sit down with the applicant and talk to him about your concerns. And so to provide that, I think, I would prefer to defer the application as requested, and in good faith and trusting what the applicant has said here today, that you all can connect with him with his publicly advertised number on the AIC, and then move forward with that. So if there's no other concerns from the other panel members, I could make that motion, Madam Chair, if you give me permission.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Swartz?
Well, I would hear this. I would hear this application. The reason I would not support a deferral here,
Okay, that's,
and the reason is because I believe that the applicant had ample notice to do the right thing and go to these people because they submitted their objections on time, and that the applicant had time to talk to the city staff and know that there was going to be opposition, know that there was a negative staff report, and try to work with these people. Particularly, I'm concerned about the small business people who are here because they had to give up their day. That's a day of work for them. It's income in their pocket. And I think they're just small businessmen. They're just trying to do their thing, and they're dramatically affected by this application. I just think that the applicant has more of, you may not say there's a legal duty, but I think there's a moral duty to work with people and try to be conducive with them over something that affects their lives as much as this does. So I would hear it.
all right, thank you. We have a motion in front of us. We need a seconder. Ms. Sankar, did you want to speak?
Sorry,
further?
yes. And so my motion is to approve this application, this deferral request, sine die, and it's going to give the applicant a chance to really meet, whether it's one-on-one or in a group, with these tenants and stakeholders. And the reason I'm saying that is that we could hear the application today, and what if we end up approving it and they really didn't get a chance to have their say, in the way that could have generated some kind of change in the application itself coming back to us. So with that in mind, I feel it's more fruitful to put that motion to approve it. The deferral request, sine die, that's my motion.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to also add the applicant had mentioned transportation.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with your motion. I think I would word it slightly differently because the commitments were made very specifically that the deferral would allow the applicant the opportunity to resolve issues with the planning department, the transportation department, and to consult with the commercial tenant and reach out to those that have filed objections with AIC. Those are specific
As well as
people.
to address transportation, yes, of course.
And those are the specific people that he doesn't have a resolution with yet. And I think that's clearer in terms of who he's committing to meet with.
I accept your friendly amendment, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Do we have a seconder for that motion? Mr. Nipfel. All in favor of the motion before us to defer? That is 4 in favor, and opposed, Mr. Swartz. All right, the application has been deferred.
Members, if I could just quickly remind you to please speak into your microphone. If it's off to the side, it doesn't get picked up on YouTube at all. You can just see the mouth moving.
That was for you, Carl. All right, we are back to item number 12, 30 Chudleigh Avenue. This is an application to alter the existing two-story dwelling by constructing a new two-story rear addition and rear deck. We have variances for east side yard setback to the rear deck, floor space index, east side yard setback, rear yard landscaping, platform encroachment into rear yard and east side yard. On file, we have minutes from September 11th, survey, site plan, plans, site photos, support material, letter of concern from 28 Chudleigh Avenue, and the previous agenda package and minutes from September 11th. We have our applicant.
Good afternoon, committee. Jonathan Vinskowski, 301 Keewatin Avenue.
Good afternoon. Do you have any changes to make to the application today?
I do not, Madam Chair. This is now our third time back here. I think we actually have it perfected this time, so I do not, Madam Chair.
Is it a charm?
It is something. We had a missed variance that showed up 2 days before the first hearing, and then just a completely missed variance on the public notice. So I think we have everything perfect today.
All right. And do we have anyone in the audience on this item? 30 Chudleigh? No? No, okay. Do we want a presentation, panel? No? I don't think we want a presentation. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? Mr. Nipfel?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Hope that is okay. Mr. Brankowski, your rear deck is an elevated rear deck, which would appear to pose a privacy concern to number 28. Have you had discussions with 28? Did they raise that concern? And how do you feel about that overlook? Would you be prepared to put some or undertake some measure to prevent the privacy problem?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair, Mr. Kniffel. I actually did have a conversation with the neighbor prior to the first hearing. They had a concern with sun shadow, even though we're not over height or over length. There was nothing raised about the proposed rear deck from us. What I would say is it is slightly elevated. No. It is a standard deck with a walkout, meaning it's not a 2 stories above the integral garage with it being pushed up. So again, they didn't raise any concerns in any of our discussions about the rear deck itself.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you very much.
Sorry, any other questions for the applicant? No? All right. Should we take it into committee? Mr. Nipfel?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is a very straightforward application, and we have seen it before. I believe it was the last time there were some missing variances. They're now here. I don't think that the variances are in any way out of line. I think that the proposal conforms to the neighborhood character. I don't see any difficulties arising from the variances, so I'd like to move approval of the application without any conditions.
Thank you very much. Do we have a seconder? Ms. Sankar? All in favor of the application? That is 4 in favor. Opposed? Ms. Martin is opposed to the application. All right, that application has been approved. Okay, so that was 1213, 96 Belgravia Avenue. This is to construct a new 2-story garden suite in the rear yard of the existing 3-story fourplex. Could we maybe take the conversation outside of the chamber? Sorry, it's hard to hear other people with the feedback. Thank you. We have variances for angular plane penetration in the rear and front lot lines, east and west lot lines, rear yard setback, separation from residential building on the same lot, height of a garden suite, and percentage of soft landscaping. On file, we have a survey, plans, planning rationale, applicant's revisions, revised plans October 2nd, letter of concern from 84 Belgravia, previous agenda package from September 11th, including a TLAB decision, late petition in support of the application. And our applicant, okay, wait a minute.
Madam Chairman, it really is hard to hear. Could you would ask the people, could they have the discussion outside?
Thank you. All right, the applicant is online.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. My name is Christian Chen, agent and land use planner for the applicant. My address is Suite 138 at 157 Adelaide Street, West Toronto, Ontario.
All right, thank you. Do you have any changes to make to the application today?
Yes, Madam Chair, I submitted to the Committee of Adjustment staff on October 2nd the modifications to variances 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if
All
you'd like me to go through them,
Yes,
I
please.
certainly shall. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So variance number 5 has been modified to read the proposed rear setback is 1.0 meters from
All right.
0.75.
Mm-hmm.
Variance number 6 has been modified to the proposed lane. I think that's a typographical error, so if that can be corrected, should there be a decision notice? The proposed garden suite will be 6.20 meters from the residential building on the same lot.
Okay,
And with regards to variance 7, modified as well. And there's also the typographical error stating laneway suite. So the proposed garden suite is 6.30 meters in height. And then variance number 8 is modified. The proposed soft landscaping area is 35.21%, and in brackets, 36.24 square meters.
all right, thank you.
And just to explain those variances, if we're going to start the timer, Madam Chair.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, those variances that have been modified have been responding to comments that were made by surrounding neighbors that were consulted with, as well as discussions with community planning. Adam Nanji, the assistant planner, stated no concerns with the application for the garden suite development and said that they would not be issuing a report for the committee. And the plans that are before you on the screen now are the incorrect plans. The plans dated October 2nd, 2025 are the plans that are subject to the revisions that we are seeking the variances for. And so I would like to, on the most recent plans, go over to drawing A502 with respect to the side elevations, the front elevation of the garden suite. And in that we can see the revised plans also have, although they don't affect the variances for the angular planes that are requested, there are side angular planes that are implemented now at and above the 5 meter story mark. And just if I can ask
Sorry,
staff to go.
could we get that plan up in front of us, the front elevation from the October 2nd? Thank you.
It would be A5, so that would be the rendering there,
Okay,
the elevation. So a number of these garden suites have come before the Committee of Adjustment, both North York District as well as the South District, City of Toronto. And in fact, these side angular planes are as a result of comments made by Committee of Adjustment staff upon deferral to improve the design. And in fact, there was member Bayet on the South panel that has actually influenced the design of these garden suites to implement side angular planes, where in fact under the new 2025 garden suite monitoring bylaw amendment, they are not required, but in response to concerns because of the increased height that's being sought at 6.3 meters for the height of the garden suite, that those side angular planes are now being proposed. A similar angular plane is also being proposed for the rear elevation. If I can ask staff to scroll down to go to the side elevation of the garden suite, in order to reduce the magnitude of the impact of the 1 foot height increase that's being sought at 6.3 meters. The originally proposed height of the garden suite was at 6.39 meters and reduced to 6.3 to be in line with the June 2025 garden suite monitoring bylaw update, which in fact increased the maximum permitted height of garden suites to 6.3 meters. So the designer has lowered the height accordingly to match what the current garden suite monitoring bylaw standards are for height. The application came in before the amendment to the zoning bylaw in June 2025, and therefore is still subject to the performance standards of Chapter 150.7, the garden suite bylaw development standards in the bylaw upon application. Just to also speak to a few other matters. Another thing is that the site is currently being developed with a fourplex that was approved by TLAB and the Committee of Adjustment prior. And I do note from Mr. Nipfel's previous comments on combined applications that although no subject of this application or the variance is that the rear fire egress staircase of the fourplex would be desired to contain a degree of privacy screening, and Mr. Nipfel on previous applications has suggested and required through conditions that the rear fire escape have side privacy screens in this case, the east and west sides of the fire escape for the fourplex in the form of like a live wall or a planted trellis. That's something that certainly would be acceptable to my client in this case as a condition of approval, should it be approved as well, because I note that in the original application for the fourplex, that condition wasn't imposed, and that's something, should the committee decide to do it, would be absolutely amenable to do. With respect to the plan context, it's in neighborhoods. The location of the property is also within 2 major transit station areas, both being the Eglinton West Protected MTSA and the Oakwood MTSA. The Ministry of Municipal Housing has approved the boundaries of those MTSAs on August 15th, and therefore this is an additional 5th unit on the property that supports gentle intensification and the goals of the city's EHON study initiative. This will be a rental suite. It will be the 5th rental suite on the property. And another reason that the garden suite is proposed at this time is because previously the development charges framework was not did not facilitate a 5th unit on a property with a multiplex. And this is something that's also changed in June of 2025, where City Council has approved an amendment to Chapter 415 of the Municipal Code to exempt an additional 5th unit if a site is developed or is to be developed with a 4-unit multiplex. And therefore, my client thought it was a good opportunity with City Council's adoption of the change to the development charges bylaw in order to provide an additional rental unit in an area that is well served by transit and in close proximity to hopefully when the Eglinton West LRT line begins operation. Typically what is happening on these as well, that has been a question before me on other applications, very similar applications for these garden suites, is the degree of rear soft landscaping. The variance sought is reflective of the hard landscaping elements that are proposed or under development, in fact, in construction for the original multiplex development. The rear yard soft landscaping is reduced because the hard landscaping in the rear yard is designed to have minimum walkway widths for accessibility requirements, because the basement unit in that fourplex is designed as an accessible unit with a wheelchair lift in a sunken patio that's immediately to the rear, adjacent to the rear main wall of the fourplex.
You've gone beyond your limit of your 5 minutes. So
okay, absolutely, I can understand that. And just briefly, underneath the rear fire escape staircase, those rear stairs are going to be made of or constructed with porous metal surfaces, so rain and water will fall through it, and there is soft landscaping underneath that rear fire escape, which would add to rear soft landscaping. However, the examiner would not calculate it as such upon zoning examination.
All right, thank
And
you.
I'll end it there since I'm already over and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Okay. Questions? Anyone? Okay, Ms. Martin?
I just have a quick question. How are you going to deal with the soft landscaping that you have in the backyard? It looks like you've got one sort of rectangle within the paved area. What's the intention of that? And then around the edges of the new garden suite, the proposed garden suite, what are the intentions there? What are the landscape intentions?
So the landscaping treatment for those proposed soft landscaping areas in the rear yard will be turf. On the revised plans, we can see also that the proposal has been revised to include mature deciduous trees to be implemented as part of the rear yard soft landscaping schematic, which would increase groundwater absorption. The triangle in between the walkways will be comprised of turf as well. The walkways will also be comprised of permeable pavers to allow a degree of groundwater infiltration in order to maintain as much as possible the function of groundwater absorption in the rear yard. So all those walkway areas except for the basement walk-up that's indicated if you can zoom in will be comprised of permeable pavers. The basement walk-up area, which is the sunken patio, will be appropriately drained so that there would be no flooding onto adjacent properties, and that the water that would be collected by the approximate 9 square meter sunken patio will be directed to the city's stormwater sewer system. Again, in zooming in, the area underneath the exterior stairs, which represents approximately 9 square meters of area, will be soft landscape underneath those exterior stairs. So there will be groundwater infiltration under those stairs as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No? All right, let's hear from the neighbors. We have someone in the audience. Hi, please come forward. And we'll start with your name and address. Just make sure the microphone's on.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. My name's Pam DiNardo, and I own the house at 385 Whitmore, which is Kitty Corner. It's on the diagonal. So we're on the north. And I'm also here representing Rachel Kula, whose backyard backs right onto this house. Anyway, she couldn't be here today. Okay, so obviously the big issue for us is loss of privacy. This thing is like right on top of us. I have been talking to the Christian, the guy this planner, to see if they could get the second floor window that faces north, to see if it could be moved to the side, like to the west side, because they have trees over there and some privacy. But I don't know, Christian said that would result in a big delay, and I don't know, is it possible? That window is right on top of us, on the second floor.
All right. Was that your only comment for now?
Oh, well, if that's not possible, then the window on the second floor must not be a window that opens. It's like it has to be just a panel of glass, opaque panel of glass that lets light in, but it's literally right on top of us. Like it's 1 meter from our yard. So that's what we'd be asking for.
Okay.
And the other thing is, in terms of the fence at the back of the property, it's got to be high enough to block out the windows that are on the north side facing our yards. Like he's got windows on the first floor of the garden suite. We want assurances that the fence will be high enough to block those views.
Okay.
Oh, and I'll just say one more thing. I did talk to Christian. I mean, ideally, I really did want the window on the west side because they have trees and privacy over there. But if it's not possible, and it has to be on the north side facing all of us, then we would ask that the window be smaller, which he agreed to, like something like 1.5 square feet, a smaller window. Those are our comments.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll let him address those.
Okay.
Okay. All right, are those the only speakers then?
Madam Chair, if we can just confirm she was speaking on behalf of Rachel from 94 BELGRAVIA? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay,
Yes,
thank
that's what she indicated. And there's nobody else, right? Okay, let's get Mr. Chan back.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just making sure you can hear me. There was a little bit of a lag when I selected the unmute.
Nope, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I would like to really thank Ms. DiNardo for her comments. We have had productive discussions over the past month since the deferral. The deferral was in fact resulting because of a missed variance on the public notice. But that also allowed us time to have amicable conversations between myself and the neighbor. Ms. DiNardo did suggest that the windows be moved for the bedrooms to the sides of the garden suite. However, if that were to be done, we would have to come back to the Committee of Adjustment, ask for another deferral with regards to seeking a side yard setback, because the provisions of Chapter 150.7 are such that side yards have to be increased to 1.5 meters should there be side windows for a garden suite. And in this case, if we were to place side windows on the garden suite, the areas of the bedrooms would go below what is the required minimum floor area for a bedroom according to the Ontario Building Code. So the reasons why the windows were placed on both the front and the rear is to make sure that we don't have a reduction in space for those bedrooms. In order to address our concerns, the plans were revised on October 2nd to in fact increase the rear yard setback to reduce the magnitude of the actual or perceived impact of what the rear second story windows would produce, going from 0.75 to 1.0 meters. Opaque privacy screens are shown on the plans in order to address that concern as well. And as per Ms. DiNardo's comments regarding the size and the functionality of the windows, I've discussed this with my client and they are absolutely amenable to the reduction in the size of the rear window and to have the privacy screening and to make them inoperable as well. And so that will be carried forward during the building permit review process, where my client will seek to provide plans, should this be approved, to the Toronto buildings to show what the minimum size of the windows could be as per OBC code, which I'm no expert to address that matter, but they will be minimized to the extent possible. With respect to the rear fence, yes, happy to have that as a condition of approval. However, a rear fence will be constructed. The Chapter 447 of the Municipal Code provides that the maximum height of a rear fence could be 2.5 meters, and therefore, if there should be a condition imposed should this application be approved to require a rear fence of 2.5 meters, that would be absolutely amenable as well.
Okay, is there a fence shown on the site plan?
On the survey, it shows a board fence. The site plan has an overlay onto that survey, which shows a board fence. I am not sure, Madam Chair, what the exact height of that board fence is, but I'm sure as part of the new construction, it would be replaced with a new board fence in order to address privacy concerns from the first story windows to Ms. DiNardo's and her neighbor's rear yard.
So, and then another question I have for you is, I'm having a little trouble orienting myself on these plans, but I'm looking at the ground floor of the garden suite, and there's a sliding glass door shown, and then I see a privacy screen. Is that the rear of the property?
Yes, that would be the rear of the property. There is a sliding glass door proposed on the north side of the garden suite in order to access that 1 meter side yard in between the board fence and the kitchen area. That would be ostensibly to provide access to that 1 meter side yard, or sorry, rear yard setback into the side yards of the garden suite as well.
But is that the main entrance to the unit?
No, Madam Chair, the main entrance to the unit would be on the south side. So that can be seen on floor plan A401 on the October 2nd plans.
Okay. I just think a sliding door kind of defeats the purpose. If obviously a sliding door opens, and there's a concern with having opening windows from the neighbor. That's what I understood. I know it's on the
Yes,
ground
Madam
floor.
Chair. Yeah, that would the concern for the windows overlooking the properties in the north arises from the second floor rear windows
Okay.
and the opaque screen and the sliding door on the main floor, I believe. And I thank Ms. DiNardo for her suggestion to have an improved board fence to the rear that would address privacy concerns from that glass sliding door on the main floor.
All right. Thank you. I've been informed that Ms. Kunin wants to speak anyway online. So let's hear from her, and then we'll bring back the applicant again.
I never spoke to the person from Whitmore. I think she was referring to someone else, actually. My name's Rachel Kunin. I'm the owner and a resident at 94 Belgravia, and I do oppose this new garden suite. So the proposed building is going to infringe on my privacy of the backyard because it directly overlooks it and is significantly taller than a standard fence is allowed to be. With the proposed fourplex, they've already received a fairly significant variance to be closer to my property than is allowed in the bylaws, and now they want to have a second variance to have an additional dwelling closer to my property. So the combination of these two is going to decrease my property value. The lack of green space, I would like clarification when they say turf, if they mean sod or plastic turf. Is going to cause potential issues due to a runoff because of the elevation of this property. Also, with the 5 additional families living on what was traditionally a single or possibly 2-family dwelling, there will be impacts on the parking situation, as this could account for an extra 4 to 8 vehicles that need to street park. As it is very difficult to find available street parking overnight. So at this point, they already have gotten approval for at least 4 variances, and originally had asked for upwards of 10 variances. They're now asking for 7 more. So my question for the committee is, how many variances is too many variances, especially when they're supposed to be minor? In my opinion, none of the variances requested are for small changes to the values specified in the bylaws. And they do keep asking for more and more changes over the last 18 months. I am also concerned about solid waste management for the property. They will require 10 to 15 bins. Where will they be stored and placed for pickup? Additionally, I would like to add my agreeance to the letter submitted by 84 Belgravia. And note that construction started with no warning on Monday. I saw the owners of 96 Belgravia Avenue approached several neighbors to ask for support of the project on the 28th of September, but they did not speak to me. I have not spoken to them in over a year at this point. And also noting that in getting my agreement, which is publicly on record, for the original fourplex, they stated no east windows, which based on the current submissions is false.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the resident? No? All right, thanks. Let's have the applicant back to address those comments.
Hi, thank you, Madam Chair. So with regards to the affected neighbor's height, concerns with regarding height and privacy, there are no windows proposed on the two-story garden suite to the east, which is facing 94 Belgravia. And specifically, and again, upon Committee of Adjustment members' advice, in fact, in order to reduce impacts of perceived or actual height onto adjoining neighbors, the side angular plane starting at the height of 5 meters has been implemented in the revised plans. And with respect to the 2025 Garden Suite bylaw amendment, no angular planes at all are required for the sides of a garden suite anymore. However, in this instance, they are being proposed at the 5 meter height mark in order to reduce that perceived or actual impact of height. To advise with regarding to the turf, this will be made as sod. It will not be artificial turf. With regards to the concerns about parking, bylaw 89/2022 amended the zoning bylaw to remove parking minimums for fourplex development, and garden suite developments always had no requirement for parking spaces. There are bike parking spaces that are being proposed, which meet the bylaw's requirements for a garden suite, which is 2 bike parking spaces for the garden suite. I'd also like to note that this development is being proposed as a transit-oriented development in mind, being the lot being within two major transit station areas and about a 5-minute or less walking distance to those 2 MTSA stations.
All right.
With regards to solid waste, on the revised plans on October 2nd, of course, this has been something that's been raised in other similar applications, is that there is a waste management plan that is now on the site plan. So the total number of garbage bins as reviewed and analyzed by the designer that's required for development of this size or this number of units is 2 garbage bins and 1 recycling bin. There will be a designated salaried property manager who will move bins to the street twice weekly. This will be a privately managed waste management on the site, so above and beyond what the municipal weekly waste collection standards would be. The property manager will provide their phone number to the tenants and the affected neighbors should there be any overflow that needs to be picked up, or in fact, be on the property regularly to see what needs to be taken care of, both for waste management and snow removal during the season.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? No? All right. All right. Thank you. Let's take this into committee.
Could I ask one question?
Sorry, I've already had the opportunity. All right. Anyone want to start the conversation? Thoughts? Mr. Nipfel?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is a bit of a challenging application. There's clearly not enough land for some of what's being proposed, but there have been attempts made to adjust the project in a way that accommodates concerns that have been expressed by neighbors and concerns that are the basis of some of the bylaws that have been passed. I very much support the way in which the building is being massed, which is to replicate what would happen if there were angular planes, so that the top floor of the building has been angled back on all 4 sides to reduce its visual impact, to reduce shadowing and so forth. And I think that's been successful, and I'd frankly be prepared to support that. The concern that I have with the application at present is the lack of soft landscaping. And I take Mr. Chan's comments that the stairway, which was approved as part of the original fourplex, is open. It's a filigreed metal staircase, and that the space underneath the staircase is in fact soft material. I don't know if it might be grass, it could be grass, but it is soft landscaping. It percolates, it allows water to go through. So it is achieving some of the objectives of soft landscaping. The other point that you made was in previous application, the committee asked that the sides, so in this case, the east and west sides of the exit stair from the fourplex, have screens installed that could possibly accommodate greenery. If that were done as well, that, I would argue, is introducing a level of greenery to compensate for the lack of greenery on the ground, on the plain. So I think with those changes, this is a reasonable application. Whether it's reasonable to place conditions on this approval that the space underneath the fire escape be soft landscaping, at the sides of the fire escape have screening, I'd be prepared to do that, but I'm in others' hands to advise whether they think that's a reasonable thing to do at this point. Without that, I think there is a real concern with there not being enough landscaping.
Maybe the condition could be that the, except for the walkways, that all area in the rear yard be maintained as soft landscaping? Something to that effect?
Could, I think what Mr. Chan was getting to, if you look at the plan that's here, it looks like it's all hard landscaping. But in fact, and I can remember him saying this at the time that the fourplex was approved, that is actually not their intention, that the space that's shown as the stairway, that's actually a soft material that will allow for percolation of moisture. I think that's a reasonably effective way of addressing the objective of the soft landscaping. I'm open to how we might do that, and also the fact that there might be screens on either side of the exit stair, and that they could perhaps be accommodate vines and other greenery. I would argue that those are good compensation for the landscaping that's missing.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Martin?
Well, with the landscaping, I think that I usually don't recommend this, but I mean, I think they might be better to take out that rectangle in the center, shift that walkway over and create a larger space of landscaping in front of the garden suite that could be more effective in growing trees, like a larger area of soft landscaping. I'm not sure how any of this is going to survive, like the rectangle in the center. I'm not sure unless it's planted up with shrubs and maybe some small trees, but I don't see it as effective other than, stormwater management. If they put in sod there, I think it's going to be a dust bowl. And so if they could consolidate the landscaping in front of the garden suite, push that walkway, remove that area, I think it'd be more effective. Consolidate one larger landscape area. And also, like, just with these corners, they're, they could round them off or create corners where they can create a little more landscaping, Carl.
The only concern I have with that is basically we'd have to say that they have to increase the percentage of soft landscaping. I think that's the only way to capture it in a condition. And the applicant hasn't provided,
Right.
although he's said, and I understand zoning doesn't accept the area under the stairs as soft landscaping, even
Well,
though.
it's supposed to be 50 and it's 35. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we'd do that without getting a number from the applicant.
And the landscaping around this building is virtually sort of useless, really. It's useless land, right?
Yeah, well, it's it could be sod
It's soft
if
for
you're lucky.
stormwater management potentially,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so.
And I'm sure that was compromised in the original multiplex application with
For
the
sure.
setbacks, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we could articulate that in a
And I
motion.
get that sliding glass door, it's going to nowhere.
Mm-hmm,
But maybe it's for light,
yeah,
yeah.
but why is it, well, yeah, do you really need to get back there? Not really sure, but anyway.
And if there's a 2.5 meter high fence at the back.
All right, well, any other questions for the applicant? No? Or we've already addressed that, haven't we? Didn't I take it into committee? I'm losing track. Yeah,
I think we're in committee.
yeah, we are in committee,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm losing focus. Okay, all right. All that being said, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'm willing to make a motion.
Ms. Martin?
No? I'm willing to stick my neck out there and make a motion.
You do?
I'm willing to make a motion to refuse it, just because of the landscaping issue, and I think it's, I'm not convinced it meets the 4 tests. It just seems like excessive, all things considered, on this piece of land.
All right, well, let's float it out there. Is there a seconder for that motion? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to refuse the application. All in favor of that motion? 1, 2, 3, 3 people in favor. Opposed? Ms. Sankar and Ms. Casson opposed. So the application has been refused.
I take a brief break.
All right. Sorry? Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. But okay.
Like there was too many things.
So what will happen is they'll go to T-Lab. No, they're just gonna go to T-Lab. Don't worry. They want a multiple. So they came the first time. They were the second time. Now they want the extra little bit. They're gonna go back to T-Lab. One time here. Yeah, they renege on the deal, they go and tell the neighbors, I've seen guys like this before, we can't win.
All right, we're back. Back, excuse me. Item 14, 24 VANLEY Crescent. This is to permit a vehicle dealership. The variance is to permit a vehicle dealership. On file, we have minutes from July 10th, survey, plans, site photos, supporting material, community planning report, Metrolinx report, 4 letters of support from neighboring properties, 1 letter of concern from 15 VANLEY Crescent, and previous agenda package. Do we have our applicant?
Yes, Chair Madam, I'm here. My name is Del Mamiza. I'm here on behalf of MRN Automotive, located at 24 VANLEY Crescent.
And your address?
3707 Trillon Circle, Mississauga, Ontario, L5N6N8.
Thank you. All right, we don't have anybody here unless we do in the audience on this item. No, all right. I don't think we need a presentation. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No? All right, should we take this into committee? Other than, yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna ask that. Sir, have you seen the community planning report?
Correct.
You have?
Can I have a 5-minute speaking to this application?
Sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So just to give a little bit of background, we began operating at the 24 VANLEY Crescent Unit B in April this year. We are applying for a minor variance for a legal non-conforming use to add a car sale endorsement to our existing municipal license, business license that would allow us to sell up to 10 vehicles only at this location. This our operation is a small in scale and fit entirely within our unit and assigned parking space. There are no change being made to the site or structure or any impact on the traffic, parking, or access to VANLEY Crescent. We take a pride in keeping our site clean, organized, and operating reasonably. This use is well fit within the surrounding neighborhood. VANLEY Crescent and Chiswick Drive already include several licensed dealerships under the same zoning, including next door, 19 VANLEY Crescent, license issued 2022, 70 VANLEY Crescent, license issued 2023, 4467 Chiswick Drive in 2024 at the same zoning, and 4 VANLEY Crescent operates since 2006. These examples clearly show that automotive sales are long-standing and compatible use with this employment area. We are not introducing something new. We are simply continue a use that has existed here for many years. We understand from the community planning staff report that the staff has concern about the continuity of the previous dealership use. This property designation under the core employment area policy. We respectfully submit that our application does not represent a change in land use. It simply allows the continue of existing long-standing dealership operation that exists before the current zoning come into effect. Our proposal support the intent of the employment area by keeping this property active, productive, and contributing to local economy. We are very grateful to Councillor Pasternak, who has provided a letter of support for this application. He confirmed that this property has historically operated as a car dealership, that our proposal fit the commercial and industrial character of the area, and that it will not create any negative impact such as a traffic noise. We are also have several supporting letters from local business confirming that our operation are reasonable and respectful of the community. Speaking to the letter of concern that was submitted by Aluminum Mold and Pattern at 15 VANLEY Crescent, we would like to clarify that the photo and information in the letter actually refer to 22 VANLEY Crescent, not to our unit at 24 VANLEY Crescent. Since we move in, the MRN has complied with all city requirements. Our lot is not overcrowded, and the updated photo we provided with our application shows the property being used properly and safely. We have also reached out to our neighbor business and received those several support. So in conclusion, I can say in summary, this application is a small family business, a practical and consistent with the existing use in the area. It continues long-term standing dealership use that has operated here for many years without creating any changes or impact to the neighborhood. We respectfully ask the committee to approve this minor variance so that M&R Automotive can continue to operate legally and contribute positively to the local employment area. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I would be happy to answer any question the committee may have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No? Anyone? All right. There don't appear to be any questions, so we will take this into committee. All right. Anyone want to? Mr. Nipfel.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The Planning Department report is very direct. It says that the applicant has not demonstrated that the use has been continuous to their satisfaction, and as such, this is considered to be a change in use. And if it is a change of use, that variance is not the appropriate vehicle for approval, and as a result, recommending that the application be refused. I cannot find any errors or concerns or questions in the Planning Department report. I think it's clear, concise, and very factual. And on the basis of that report, I would recommend that the application be refused.
All right. Any further comments or a motion, perhaps? Mr. Nipfel?
I would move that the application be refused, Madam Chairman.
All right. And for the reasons that you stated previously?
That's right.
All right. Thank you. And do we have a seconder? Ms. Martin? All in favor of the motion? That's 3 in favor. All opposed to the motion? Ms. Sankar and Mr. Swartz. The application has been refused. All right, moving along. 153 St. Leonard's Avenue. Number 15. This is an application to construct a new deck in the rear yard with the existing deck to be removed. We have variances for height and depth of a rear deck. On file, we have a previous decision from September 11th, a survey, plans, cover letter, photos, and a signed support letter from 3 neighbors. Let's have our applicant.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, committee. This is Bamdad Ben Baghdadi from BBA Design Studio, Inc. The address for the record is 13 Hollyberry Trail in North York.
Thank you. I take it there's no changes to the application?
That's correct.
All right, and does anyone have any questions for the applicant? I don't think we need a presentation. No? Okay. We don't need a presentation. There don't appear to be any questions. So we will, oh, did you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to emphasize that, yes, I think it's a straightforward application. We are maintaining the existing heights of the deck and just expanding it. And the two neighbors that will be affected are actually our adjacent neighbors. And we have their signature in support for this application.
All right, great, thank you. Okay, let's take it into committee.
Okay, I'm happy to make a motion because I think it's a very straightforward application. There doesn't seem to be any opposition to it. So I'd like to make a motion to approve this application. I don't think there's any forestry conditions.
Yes.
The only thing I would say is that with the premise that they do not enclose the back deck pergola.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Sankar, were you seconding the motion? All right, you're okay with that? Great, thank you. All in favor of the motion? With that condition, that's unanimous. The application's been approved. All right, and we've dealt with item 16, so now we're on item 17, 37 Danville Drive, to construct a new dwelling. We have variances for number of stories, building height, building length, building depth, height of main pedestrian entrance above established grade, coverage, and tandem parking. On file, we have a survey, plans, presentation material, arborist report, transportation services report, 4 letters of objection from 40, 43, and 35 Danville Drive and 31 Didrikson Drive. Okay, we have our applicant in front of us today. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, member of the committee. My name is Mehran Haydari from PMP Design Group, 1090 Danville Road, Unit 403.
All right, thank you. We have those letters of objection, but we don't have anybody here in the audience on the item, I don't believe. Oh, I didn't see that. I guess so. If you don't mind. Have you seen the counselor's letter?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it there?
Did I miss it in the late package? I don't recall seeing counselor letter. Late. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. It's on now. Walk up entrance. Oh, you can enlarge, you know? Yeah.
So sorry, Madam Chair, I can't see.
I'm sorry. They're going to enlarge it. There. Is that better? Now we can all see it.
Much better, yes.
All right. I have read. So perhaps you've seen the letters of objection,
Yes, Madam Chair.
and maybe you can just give us a bit of feedback on those concerns, like what your analysis is of them or your comments on them.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I received a council letter late yesterday, and I tried to contact them, and I sent the email this morning to their office and explained the rationale about this application, and I received a written email from their office, and I forwarded, I CC'd Mr. Brandon on the email and also forwarded the reply from them to Mr. Brandon as well. And they send the email to me that, "Hi Mehran, thank you for sharing this update. This context is appreciated. It's good to hear that the variance request for the 3-story is being removed. While the councilor is city council today, I will be sure to bring this update to her attention." And I already contacted this way, so Again, so this is something that I want to explain, that variance number 1 about the 3-story is confusing variance because we were dropping and lowering the basement a couple of inches. We don't have any number of story variance, so this is why I removed the variance for number 1 for the 3-story. And the concern about the second floor balcony by the email of the council office, again, because the second floor is main floor, we had this concern. So right now, by removing variance number 1, we don't have the second floor walkout anymore. So we are, and the council office, I believe, is okay with this application.
Okay, you said you removed variance 1, but it's still in the public meeting notice. Was it?
No, I just sent the email today, this morning.
Oh,
I'm
I
telling,
see.
yeah, I'm telling you right
To
now.
remove it.
Right now, I'm changing the application.
Sure. Are there any other changes to the?
No, there is no change.
Just you're removing variance 1.
Yes, variance number 1.
Well, except you also mentioned that your deck at the back is gone, but it's still there.
No, we don't have variance for the deck. So the councilor office has concern about the second floor balcony. That was the main floor deck. By removing the variance number 1, the main floor is going to be first floor, and we don't have any concern about the balcony size or walkout.
I doubt that the councillor, unless I misunderstood, I doubt the councillor's concern was that it was called the second floor. The issue is that it's still up from grade, and it's still there. Your elevation drawings haven't changed, is that correct?
No, that never change, and we don't have the walk up on the second floor. We don't have a walk up. The council office is walk up, not the height.
But that's going to change the plans, correct?
No. Again, when we have the 3-story, the second floor is the floor that we have the deck.
Yeah, I get that. I get that you're going deeper, but now your second floor is your main floor?
Yes, the second floor second floor going to main floor, and the third floor going to be second floor.
Okay, what does the rear elevation look like? Can we get the elevation up here? Can you tell me?
Yeah, you have in the drawing that I submitted. Yeah.
That's the front.
Yes, this is the real elevation, and we don't have any variance here.
Okay, that's not the issue. Is the deck is still there, though, right?
Yeah, the deck, and we don't have any variance for the deck.
I know.
Yes.
Just to clarify, but the walkout is still there.
Yes.
And that stairway is still there.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's lower.
No, it's not lower. It's in the limit of the bylaw. The height of the balcony is permitted to be any higher than the bylaw if we have no more than 2.5 meter depth on the balcony, and we have comply with this.
Okay. All right. Nope. Nope.
So may I continue the presentation?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if you see, we don't have the staff report on this application because this application is consistent with the approved variances in the neighborhood and is matched with the character of the neighborhood, and the history of the application that is approved in this area is more than 37.1% that we have. So for example, the opposite side 36 is 37.77%, and we are inside of the area that we approved the variance in this area. May I see the site plan here on the screen? This is not my application.
I feel like site plan.
No, this is not my application.
No.
No.
A01. Yep.
Yes, thank you. So one of the variants that they has concern of counselor, it was about the length and depth. So if you see the site plan here, so this part on the middle of the house.
Sorry, you can't use the pointer, correct? We can't. No, you can't point things out
Oh, okay.
because
Yes, I asked.
people listening.
Yeah, I asked before, so okay, no
Okay,
problem.
sorry about that. You just have to explain it.
Yes, okay. So the actual length of the building is 19.65, and it's almost 18 point. Yeah, the actual building length is 18.90 meter, and with the bump off on the middle of the house, we have 0.7 meter extra, that the total length is going to be variance because we are bumping off at the front, and we have this variance that is on the application. But the actual length of the building is shorter than what is here, and the length and also the depth. The depth variance is from the, if you see the floor, I cannot point it here. So on the left corner of the house, on the back, on the left corner, there is an imaginary line between that left corner, perpendicular to the front yard setback, is the arch up parallel to the front part of the building. It means 21.30 meter depth of the building on the variance is not actual depth of the building. It's just the imaginary number based on the way of the calculation of the measurement of the building depth. Is going to be, because the land is the irregular. If you see the front part of the building and the front part of the land is the arch. And the front yard setback is going to be offset of that arch. If you see the front part, yes, you see the dashed line, the parallel of the front part. So the depth of the building is from this imaginary line to end left corner of the building. So this is why we have 20.430 meter variance, but this is not exceeding variance of the length. The length of the building again is keeping the same as the bylaw, not the bylaw, is keeping at the length of the variance on the notice. And the coverage variance that we have again, so we have the approved variance in neighborhood. So it's, you can see I did the presentation. You have seen the presentation I provided here and the map on the area, yes, here. So 36 Danville, the opposite side of the street, is 37.89%, is much more than what we have. 34 Middle East Road is 37.99. 23 the Crickleton Drive is 37.77, and 28 Carnwatt is 37%. So we are in the same criteria. So the variance that we have here approved, the bylaw is the 35%. So we are seeking for just 2.3% increase of the variance. And if you see, we don't have any setback variance, front yard setback, rear yard, side yard. So we are complying with all criteria of the location of the property. So this is something that I need to explain. And if there is any question, I'm more than happy to answer.
Why do you need a height variance?
This is the only request by my client. So actually for the design, we don't need the height, but because of the attic height, my client's request to have this height variance is the only reason, though we don't have the...
Because of why? I didn't understand.
Yeah, the client request, my client request.
They're requesting a height variance, but the design doesn't reflect it?
No, it's reflected in the design. So we have the height variance and the new bylaw, 10.3 meter. So we have 1 foot extra variance based on the bylaw.
And what are the floor heights of the main floor and the second floor?
Yeah, the main floor is the 11 foot, the second floor is 10 foot.
All right. Okay, does anyone else have questions? Mr. Swartz?
Just want to understand, you're making a change here. You're eliminating variance number 1, is that
Yes.
right? So you're going to 2 stories instead of 3?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now, then I want to talk to you about variance 5. If you're changing to 2 stories, do you need variance 5?
Pardon me?
So variance number 5 is the elevation of the main pedestrian entrance. Do you really need it that high now?
Yeah, the entrance of the pedestrian entrance is the foyer and the porch, and the front porch. If you see the supporting the drawing that I sent you, if you see the main floor, I can explain on the main floor.
Is this in the, was this sent into the city? Because I'm trying to look on my computer. Do I have to look on?
Yeah,
the
if you zoom
screen?
the-
It's not on the, is it on the computer here?
If you zoom the foyer on the main floor, I can explain. Yeah.
So so this is a change that you're doing here, right? In front of us? Is that? Okay, well, show me, let's
Yeah.
answer my question first.
No, okay, yeah, we remove the variance by lowering the basement. So this is not affecting the main floor number of the stairs or level or height of the building. So if you see the foyer here, so we have the foyer, we have the porch entrance and the foyer. And in the foyer, we have a number of the steps.
Okay, so that's inside, but what about outside?
So the, exactly, you know, the
Can you
porch,
show
you
the
know,
front elevation? Just
yes, front elevation, yes, please, yeah.
I don't have these in my packet.
There's
Is
nine,
this-
there,
is
so
this-
there's 9 or 10 steps outside. And
Yes.
then
Is it the same as what was in the
4
elevation?
inside, it looks like.
Yeah, then the number of stairs, combination of the inside and outside, it's making the variance 0.4 meter higher than the bylaw. So by reducing the number of stairs inside, we are extra stairs in the outside, and this variance is come up. So this is not the main building height of the main floor, so it's just the foyer and the porch affecting by this variance. And the number of stairs is involving in this matter.
But basically, 5, is 5 staying as it was?
Yes.
Okay. Can you, so my concern with your, your drawing and your proposal is that it will be.
Mr. Swartz, you need to talk in the microphone.
Oh my gosh, I hate these microphones. Okay. How can I look at this drawing? I will imagine what the okay, there I can look at it. I can look, well, I don't know what, I'm looking at so many things here. Let me look at my screen. Okay, there we go. It's not consistent with the elevations in the rest of the neighborhood. It's got, can you bring that down? I'm concerned about 5. I appreciate that you've eliminated 1, but I'm concerned about 5 because it just doesn't look right compared to what I've seen, because I looked at the streetscape. Can you do that? Can you get rid of 5? In other words, if I refuse 5, what are you going to do? How do you manage that? Can you bring it down and put more stairs inside? That's what I'm asking, because it doesn't look right to me.
Yes, you are right. By removing the variance number 5, yeah, by removing variance number 5, the number of stairs inside going to be more, and the outside going to be less.
Right.
So
But it will look more like the rest.
yeah,
of
I'm
the
okay. I'm okay with removing this variance. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I am removing variance number 5. Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
And
I'm concerned about variance number 5.
Yeah,
I'm
I
asking about it.
agree
He
with
says
you
he
that-
could remove, he could get rid of 5 and he would just have to put more stairs inside.
so I will remove variance number 5, but I just need to explain to you the reason.
Right.
So on the site plan that I have, the landing of the stairs that coming down is 165.53. So this is why if we want to keep the, the outside character same as what it is, so I work with this number and I reach this number of stairs. But I'm okay. I'm removing variance number 5 for main floor pedestrian access. So we are keeping the 1.2 meter height of the foyer for the application.
Staff, did we catch that? Variance 5.
Variance 5
Being
he's removing,
removed.
variance 1 he's removing, otherwise it stays as it is, otherwise, but
Yes.
1 and 5, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Anything else?
No.
Ms. Martin? Okay, so we'll take it into committee. Oh, Mr. Nipfel.
Would you be agreeable to putting a screen on the east side of the deck, which is elevated at the back?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm okay. Yeah.
All right, let's take it into committee. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just wanted to ask my colleagues, do you have any concerns with the length of building, which is almost 3 meters longer than what is permitted?
I do.
I have a
I
concern
do,
with
and
that
it's
too.
considerably longer than the neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Considerably longer than the neighbors flanking it. In fact, a lot of the homes there. So, and really the examples of the new builds or the larger homes it's, they're dotted here and there, but it doesn't mean it's, it has to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's all.
So, I'm not that concerned.
Sorry?
I'm not that concerned. I think this is Don Mills. I always.
It's not Don Mills.
It's a big lot.
Maybe it's not Don Mills.
It's
York
located at
Mills.
York Mills and Young.
Close to Don.
I know the area.
No, it's
No, it's
Young
York
and
Mills.
I know the area.
It's Bayview and York.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think it's, oh yeah, that's a nice area.
So I understand the building
Yeah, but
depth
I know the area very well.
explanation that the applicant provided is because of the arc of the frontage, right? That where they measure building depth.
But it's not depth, it's length.
No, I
Length is
understand.
the length of the building.
I guess this is probably one of the only new builds in this area, which is surprising.
But it's gonna.
Well, actually, there are quite a few new builds, not
There
very
are.
far-
Just not adjacent, right?
Not very far from there. There's an enormous number.
Oh, yeah, the whole neighborhood is probably
But it's
getting rebuilt,
dotted
but-
with,
Mhm.
large homes.
I don't know, I mean, it's.
Yeah, there's
doesn't
like,
have-
Medalist has custom homes on it. It has for years. There's like, I know this area pretty well.
It's left at the depth.
This is a beautiful neighborhood with big homes. Like if you go in Upper Canada, there've been a lot of new homes in there. Lord Seton, a lot of new homes.
It doesn't
Montresor
concern me
has
much
Toba.
because the side yards are being
Well,
maintained.
who made the letters of objection here?
There's a lot of neighbors, right?
There's 4.
It's a prime neighborhood. People take pride in their homes.
Yeah. Honestly, the 2-3-story thing is always an issue. I'm not really keen on the height variance. I don't see the reason for it. They can still have larger than normal first and second floor without a height variance.
And one of the objectors makes what I think is a reasonable comment about tandem parking. That it needs more space because you have to jockey the cars back and forth.
As someone with a tandem garage, yes, but most people don't park in their garages anyway, so that doesn't concern me.
I'm supportive of this. And the reason I am is because I think the applicant, okay, fine, it's coming at the last minute, but the 3-story issue is a big deal. The streetscape and the stairs is a big deal. This is a neighborhood that has big homes, that has luxury homes. And if he can do something that's nice and big, and respectful of the community, which I think he's trying to do, I can support it. Because I think that this is a neighborhood where you should have big luxury homes. He goes back in the backyard, but I'm seeing, I'm just looking at where it fits in, and you look on Google Maps, it's not so intrusive into the neighbors the way he's doing it. And where else are you going to build? You can't build into the front. You have wealthy people, they want to live somewhere too. I'm okay with this.
All right, well, we're in committee. Does someone want to make a motion?
I'm willing to make my motion to support it. I don't know if everybody else is keyed on it, but I think it's a good application as amended. So I'd move it, to withdraw variance 1, to withdraw variance 5. And I think there might be some committee, there might be, subject to whatever, I'll have to go through it again and see what.
It's 3 transportation
Three
conditions.
transportation condition. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to get support on this, but I hope I will. Anyway, yeah, it's subject to whatever conditions, and we'll go through it, but I need a second or two. So,
Is anyone willing to second that motion? Ms.
not all at
Sankar,
once. Not all at once. Ah, good.
you're willing to second? Okay. All in favor of the application as amended?
So did I get all the terms of the
Well,
conditions?
The screening on the east side of the.
Screening on the east side,
Yeah.
right? Screening on the east side,
the
removal of
deck.
variance 1, removal of variance 5.
Transportation.
Transportation committee conditions. Were there any other conditions?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. All right, we
Okay,
have,
so that's my motion.
okay.
Okay.
Ms. Sankar? You're seconding. Thank you. All in favor? That's 3 in favor. Opposed? Ms. Martin and Mr. Nipfeld. The application has been approved
Thank you.
as amended. All right, where are we? 17? Nope, that was 17, sorry, 18, I apologize. 79 Martin Ross Avenue.
Madam Chair, sorry, I apologize. Can I just clarify the screening condition?
Yes, the screening on the east side of the deck
The rear deck,
at 1.5 meters?
the rear
Mr.
balcony, I
Nipfeld?
guess it's called, yes.
Yeah, 1.5 from the floor. All right, 79 Martin Ross Avenue, application to permit a vehicle dealership use on the variances for vehicle, to permit a vehicle dealership. On file, we have a survey, plans, community planning report, late cover letter, photos, owner letter, and presentation material. And we have our applicant in front of us.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good afternoon through you, Madam Chair. Sal Creamy, address 2572 Eglinton Avenue West.
All right.
So definitely a presentation is warranted. We heard from a last dealership in this immediate neighborhood.
Is the
Everybody
microphone
can-
on? I think he's tall and we can't hear.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Maybe just repeat your name and address, please, just for the record.
So Sal Creamy, address 2572 Eglinton Avenue West. And before you is an application to permit a vehicle dealership within the Duke Heights Business Improvement Area that's close to the intersection of Finch and Dufferin in North York. Property on the zoning does not permit a vehicle dealership, but does permit basically every other use related to a vehicle establishment or business. Part of my research with one of the first things I wanted to look at is how compatible a vehicle dealership would be within this area, regardless of what was presented within both the zoning bylaw and the official plan. Within presentation material that I submitted, you can see that there is a high number of both vehicle dealerships and like vehicle establishments immediately surrounding the subject site, as well within the greater context of the community. And I would like to bring it back to the property itself, because that's very pertinent when looking at a minor variance application is a case-by-case analysis. And looking at the property, it is quite large in comparison to the single building that is on site. The property measures just under 4,300 square meters, which is just under half acre. The building itself is 1,100 square meters. So there is sizable land to accommodate all aspects of this business within the confines of the property and not spilling over to the neighboring properties. Combining that with a very large front yard setback at 22 meters, there is going to be an abundance of space for accessible parking spaces for visitors, visitors that don't require accessible spaces. Like what I'm trying to say is you have space for accessible parking spaces, you have space for visitors, and you have space for the stock of the business, which would be presentable to the community. Ultimately, the concerns that the community planning report had was that a business such as this, a vehicle dealership, is going to create undue nuisance to the surrounding community because of visiting patrons. And respectfully, I'd like to submit through you, Madam Chair, that we disagree to the extent that this property is large. It can accommodate both the stock and visitors that would visit it, and we do not foresee nuisance that would be caused to the immediate community. Part of the historic context of this neighborhood in this specific site is that a vehicle dealership was a permitted use under the old North York zoning code. And actually, this property had a dealer shop operating there up until 2013. So both the site and the surrounding neighbors in the community are used to a dealership operating there. And we feel that an official plan amendment is not necessary for this application for the reasons that I've outlined today, because it is minor in nature. There's one variance being presented for the use, which I think appropriately we've outlined is compatible to the current zoning there. It's an extension of the other vehicle business permitted uses that are already permitted, and as well in conformity to the official plan, so as to the extent that it's going to strengthen the existing vehicle businesses that are present. And I think at this time I'd like to open it up to any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No? I mean, it's, the issue is the official plan and not permitting motor vehicle uses in this area. There may have been previously, but now they don't. So could you maybe speak to
Can I
the
speak to
intent
that?
of the official plan?
So June of this year, council passed bylaw 477-2025. In effect, what that did was it brought sections 2 and section 4 of the official plan in conformity with the updated provincial policy statements. And specifically within that bylaw, the word vehicle dealership was removed from being required within a general employment area. So it gives effect that a dealership can be located within core and general employment areas, and it's on a case-by-case analysis. Further within that bylaw, it outlined that establishments over 6,000 square meters require a municipal plan review. This is under 6,000 square meters. So this committee does have the power to approve the application. And I would also like to table that if there are perceived concerns about how this dealership could be received, we also have the tool of a time-based approval that we could implement, where this vehicle dealership could operate for a set number of years, and we could review at the end of that term how it went. And that is another tool that we do have available to us today.
Did you discuss with community planning your application and their report?
Yeah, we did. There wasn't common ground that could be found because of the fact that not too long ago, vehicle dealerships were clearly outlined to only be located within general employment areas, which are the periphery of employment areas. And further, looking at the location of this dealership in context with the community, it's just off of Alness and very close to what is our major avenues. At the end of the day, we did discuss the time-based decision, and it wasn't something that the assistant planner could speak to. We both saw it as an appropriate vehicle, how we could test the implementation of it. And I think looking at the policies within the official plan, which speak to strengthening our employment areas, considering how many existing vehicle dealerships are present here, there's a trend that's in place that I don't think we can ignore. And I think the time-based decision is something that can be utilized where there's safeguards for all, and also lets a small business owner try to make a mark. If I can actually explain, the owner is here today. He actually is from North York. He bought the building and he will be operating the dealership there. This is something that he's worked hard for in his career. And he's actually relocating the business from Burlington to North York. So I think another thing that gives us some confidence here is that the owner will operate the business. There's going to be a high level of pride involved with that. And as such, the business will be presented like that to the community.
All right, thank you. Any questions, further questions of the applicant? Oh, okay.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Martin.
What are the what are the uses of the buildings surrounding this particular lot?
So that's a great question, and through you, Madam Chair, across the street there is a hardware store, which is a retail operation, and the surrounding area is low impact commercial and industrial operations. There's actually a dealership 2 doors down from this address, and there's actually an auto body repair shop just across the street. So they're very low impact commercial operations, offices, and businesses. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that does. Thank you.
All right, I think we're ready to take this into committee. Thank you. Ms. Martin?
Well, other than it doesn't meet the requirements of the official plan. Other than that, I'm not sure I see a problem with this. I'd like to hear what my colleagues have to say.
Unfortunately, I think that is the issue, is that it
Yeah,
doesn't
it
meet
doesn't
the
meet the
official,
four tests.
which is why we have the staff report in
Right.
front of us.
Right.
So I think I was, Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
I think we had the
gotta
last
talk
one.
closer.
We had the last one, and I think, was I the only one that said I didn't mind it? I mean, I don't know how we could approve this one and not approve the last one.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I sympathize with the applicant. I think that this is an applicant that's going to create some jobs, and this is what we're trying to do in this area. So I don't understand the nuance here. I would have supported the last one, and I would support this one. However, I think if we want to be consistent, we have to turn this down because we turned the last one down, and we're really turning it down because it doesn't meet the official plan. So really, if he wants to do it, he's got to go to council or whatever it is that they have.
Are we in committee?
To get the approval.
Are you in committee?
We're in committee.
We're in committee, so you can't
So,
speak now.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I might still vote. I haven't fully decided, but I might be consistent with myself and vote in favor like I did on the last one. But
Okay.
I think, and I really feel that it ought to, but technically, legally, probably we can't, especially since we turned the last one down. But you decide. I don't see how
I
it's
had the
different.
same question that the chairman had, which is, had you had this discussion about your submitted letter, had you had that
So
discussion?
we're coming out of
full with
committee
the
now, right?
Planning
Coming out of
department, because
committee
I think you
soon.
raised some interesting points. Notwithstanding, the planning department's position is that this application is a change in use. And if it's a change in use, the only way to accommodate it is through an official plan amendment, not through a variance. I don't see any evidence or information that would, for me, challenge that position. So I'm still very supportive, not because we have to, but because I think this is a very logical progression. The official plan says this, it says you can do this, you can't do that. It says you can't do this right now. The only way to accommodate this, if you want it, is to go through an official plan amendment and see if you're successful there. That being the case, I personally don't think it's reasonable to, well, it's illogical to approve this application because it's a change in use. So I will not be supporting it, but I appreciate the information you brought forward. It was very helpful.
I think you did all the research that you could possibly do, and you presented a very good case. And it is very hard to understand the staff position when there are all those uses in the surrounding area. There's existing uses, and they're very similar uses too, such as the one we dealt with earlier today, which was a auto repair garage asking for a dealership use as well. So, but notwithstanding all of that, we can't consider it, or I can't consider it a minor variance to the official plan, or within the intent of the official plan, given the policy is pretty cut and dried, as staff have outlined. And as my colleague mentioned, the only way to address it is through an official plan amendment.
Can I make a last comment respectfully?
Sorry. No.
Respectfully, one last comment, and I'll make it quick.
No. Yeah, we
Can
are
you
in
come out of
committee, so
committee?
we can't.
Can you come out of committee
Actually,
for a brief moment?
maybe we should ask him to sit down because he thinks he's part of this, and we're
Yeah.
really in committee.
I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to persuade us either way at this point. I think the committee is.
Can you give me a brief moment and come out of committee? I'm asking for 1 minute.
Sorry? No, I don't think we can. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Swartz?
One other different, I think, now, correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that this is not currently a vehicle dealership, is that right?
No, it was at one point.
It was at one point, it's not now. The other one that I did support, staff said that there was no evidence that it was continually used as that. I sort of sided with the applicant, just based on what I heard. Here, I'm more inclined to refuse it, not because on the technicality I could sort of avoid the last time by saying, yeah, it was continuous. This one I don't really have that. However, if I could make the policy, which we're not really policy makers, we're dealing with the planning. If I could make the policy, I would probably support this because it doesn't seem right that there's others and it should be employment use and we need employment and it's good for the auto industry and but I'm not making the policy. So I think I'm going to have to refuse this, even though I voted in favor of the other one. Even though I don't really like to refuse it, but we've got a job to do, and that's what I'm doing.
So let's.
You want me to bring the motion? I can do it.
Let's do our job. All right.
I'll let somebody else bring the motion, but
Okay.
I think I know where we're going here.
Okay, Mr. Nipfel.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Because this is a change in use that would require an official plan amendment, my motion is to refuse this variance application.
And do we have a seconder for that? Ms. Martin? All in favor of the motion? All right, that's 4 in favor and opposed.
Nadini.
Ms. Sankar is opposed. The application has been refused. All right. Item 19, 54 Gwendolen Avenue. This is an application to construct a 2-car detached garage in the rear yard of the property. We have a variance for side yard of an ancillary building and lot coverage. On file, we have a survey, site plan, revised plans dated September 29th, plans, arborist report, modified notices, and a community planning report. We have our applicant online.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Nina Fant of 54 Gwendolen Avenue. I am the owner and architect for the proposal at 54 Gwendolen Avenue.
All right.
Like you mentioned, it's a proposal to construct a 2-car garage in the rear yard. We are requesting 2 variances. If you want to pull up the revised plans dated September 29th, you will see the variances outlined there. The first variance deals with the minimum side yard setback. The required side yard setback is 6 meters, and we are requesting 4.49 meters. We need the setback to have a functioning garage, And the second variance is coverage. After speaking with the planning department, we've decided to reduce the request from 33.6% to 32%, which is more in keeping with what has been allowed in the neighborhood. We hope that the committee feels that this is minor in nature. Essentially, we want to build the same garage that our neighbor to the north at 87 Stewart Avenue has, and we feel that it would fit in nicely with its surrounding context and still leave us with a substantial backyard and green space. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, just to clarify then, regarding the public meeting notice, variance 2, you're changing your request from lot coverage of 33.6% to 32%?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Just one. Yeah. All right, does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No. I don't think we have any questions, so we will, excuse me, take this into committee.
I think this is pretty straightforward. I think that they've made an effort to reduce the lot coverage, and it has a very large setback as it is. So I am willing to make a motion to approve this application.
All right, thank you. Seconder, Ms. Sankar? Oh, sorry. Right.
There was a subject to a condition, the condition in the community planning report, but was that to?
They recommended modifying, so
They did that.
you're approving the modification, but then planning wanted the setbacks that are proposed in Surrey building to develop substantially.
Oh, okay.
So that would be another condition.
Yeah, so the setbacks to be developed substantially in accordance with the revised plans.
Dated September 29th.
Dated
Site plan.
September 29, 2025. The revised site plan dated September 29, 2025.
All right. And Ms. Sankar seconded that motion. Thank you very much. And all in favor? That is unanimous. The application's been approved.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, and I guess we need a motion to end the meeting. Mr. Nipfel?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'd move that we adjourn, and it's 4:19.
Thank you. Mr. Schwartz, second that. All in favor? Do we really need that? All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, staff. Thank you.
Bye,
committee.
everyone, and happy
members.
Thanksgiving.
Same to you.